If you like talking about Embrey Mill real estate, then you've come to the right place. My name is Tanner Mulvihill. I'm the owner of Bayfield Home Loans, and I'm joined today by homeowner and real estate superstar in Embrey Mill, Ann Marley Green. Ann, how are you today?
I am doing really good. It feels a little cooler now, which is very exciting. Having a great time in real estate.
That's right. Fall's on its way, but Ann, rates continue to drop, so it's about to get busy. So our favorite times.
Yep, absolutely. Not complaining.
That's right. All right. Well, let's go in first. Let's go and give the folks an idea of what's going on in Embrey Mill. I always like getting this slide from you. So the floor is yours. What do we got?
Yeah, so this is just the sold recap for the past month. So the month of August, highest sold house was $880,000, which is pretty high. I'd love to see it. And then lowest, there were actually two townhomes that both sold for $550,000. And then averaged across all home types over the last month, the average was 22 days on market to get it under contract.
So it's still moving pretty quick, and maybe not how it was before where it was one weekend on the market and then done. But, the right house will do that. And then you have outliers that'll throw it off. So when you're averaging everything together, one could take, 2 months and the other one could go in 2 minutes. So.
Yep. And it'll be interesting to see this graphic next month because the average under contract, average days on market for the homes that are currently under contract is right around 60 days.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see how that averages out with the solds next month.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay. Well, let's get into some real estate for the folks. So let me go and remove this and add this one to the stage for us. So this is the one that you're talking about, the 880,000 one. This is 303 Petunia Way. Tell us about this one. It looks really nice.
Yeah, so we actually talked about it 2 videos ago. I think when it just went on the market, it was a home to watch. And this one is a great example of what is happening in the market right now. So, interest rates have been higher the past couple of years. Everyone, I think, is coming to terms with that's just kind of our new normal. We're hoping they dip down a little bit, over the course of the next year. They dipped down a little bit last week and the week before. So, always love to see that. But this is a great example of in these higher price points, buyers are willing to pay that higher mortgage payment, that higher sales price for a home that is 1,000% move-in ready. They have to do nothing but schedule the movers and walk in the front door.
Right.
Which this house absolutely is a great example of. It's got a ton of upgrades, built-ins. It's just a beautiful home. And obviously buyers could always add their own, customized to their aesthetic updates to it. But this home to me, it would check a lot of my boxes. So I'm sure it checks a lot of other buyers' boxes too.
I mean, just looking at it, you have, like you mentioned, the built-ins and then the tray ceiling, and then that's a beautiful open room with your kitchen. So, that was just impressive by itself. So just a great look that they did there. But yeah, 880,000 for the high for the last month, and we'll see what happens for next month. Now, this was a little bit interesting because you had a couple properties that you wanted to talk about that are, let's go first to the active under contract. This is 980 Coriander Lane. So go ahead, tell me about this property.
Yeah, so days on market are, I think, going to trend up over the course of the next few months for Embrey Mill, which is not something to panic about. It's just the time of year where we see usually the least amount of buyer activity because everyone's kind of scrambling to get their kids in the door before school starts. And on most of our videos, we're talking about all the, beautiful homes that have done so many upgrades and they're really move-in ready. And not to say that this one hasn't done beautiful updates. I mean, it has. It's got a gorgeous kitchen. But there are homes in our neighborhood that have been on the market over 100 days that are taking, a little bit longer to sell. Mm-hmm. And the point at the end of the day is these are not only our neighbors, but their home values impact our home values when we go to sell. So whenever we see a home go under contract that's been on the market a little bit, it is always really exciting and we want to, champion them. And this one, honestly, I think the only reason it stuck around this long is because it is a floor plan that does not work for every family type. I actually showed this property to buyers of my own a couple months ago. And it is a beautiful home. The closet is amazing in the primary suite. But it only has, it's kind of like a main level living, and then it has an extra bedroom and bathroom upstairs and then an extra rec room. So for any families coming in that have small children, that might not be the ideal floor plan for them. So it's just kind of one of those transient or I guess transition floor plans for some families, when they're going from having older kids to maybe kicking them off to college,
That's right. They got
that's
the
going
visitor
on.
room.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I think this one's stuck on the market a little bit longer. It's a beautiful home, and I'm really excited to see it under contract.
Well, and, going through the photos that like we kind of talked about, this didn't have the whiz bangs of the one that we just talked about, but it was still looks like it was well maintained, which is of course a plus.
Yep.
And so that's good news that it did go under contract. All right, well, let's go and get to the next one, which is kind of a similar circumstance here. And this one is now on the market for 645, 1092 Aspen Road. The floor is yours.
Yep. Yeah. So this one has been on the market for 185 days
Wow.
cumulative. So a very long time. And I think the challenges that they're running up against, that smaller backyard is not ideal for, it's a very hard backyard to navigate around. And we do see it pretty frequently in sections of Embrey Mill. And this one, I think, is a great example of it's pretty builder grade, which I actually love for buyers that do like to do that, very customized style of house. Because this is an excellent opportunity if you have friends or family wanting to move into Embrey Mill to get in below that $700,000
Yeah.
price point. And then it's basically a blank slate. You can make it however you want. You can add all those bells and whistles. You can, do all those decorative wood trim that we see in some houses. It is your blank canvas to kind of make it your own.
Well, one of the things that I was thinking of when you were talking about that, it's kind of like it's in that in between zone between what the townhouses are selling for, and then maybe more of the more primo lots with some more upgrades. So it's kind of in between those. So if you want the single family but don't want to pay the Embrey Mill single family price, I guess this is kind of an option to get in there for it.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity if you are someone that, wants to add value to your house, add, upgrades to your house to get in at that lower mortgage payment. And then, you can make those adjustments to your home over time. And then when you go to sell, it's going to be one of those bells and whistle houses that, get the elevated price and buyers just rushing to get it, off the market. So lots of opportunity in a house like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those were three great choices. Let me see if was there how'd the backyard look on this one? It was kind of that's what the issue was where it's kind of the side. So just give people an idea, but
Yeah.
still good size on this, and another one that looks like it is move-in ready, and then you can start doing the painting that you want. And with a lot of cases when you're showing properties, and I'm sure you can speak to this, where going in, like people got a lot of work ahead of them to get it to where it's going to need to be.
Yeah. This one, I have not personally toured this one in person, but really, it just looks like the updates that you'd want to do are pretty cosmetic to your taste. Things will always come up on a home inspection. Nobody knows what's happening until the home inspection is done.
Right.
But,
Right.
the homes in this neighborhood are all pretty new, so usually the problems we find are pretty small.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's go and get back. And so tell me a little bit kind of what your thoughts are in general, and what are we seeing in the market? And then maybe I can chime in on what I'm seeing on the rates.
Yeah. So I have personally had a lot of buyers come out of the woodwork that were kind of holding off for a while. And it may be, because the rates have dipped down the last couple of weeks, or, people are everyone gets to a point where they're like, I'm not going to wait anymore, because you do see the home values go up year over year. And even though the interest rates, are staying in the, high fives, mid sixes, some up to 7, depending on your loan type, the values of the homes, how they appreciate in this area year over year, you're just going to kick yourself next year if you keep waiting.
Yeah, it's always interesting when I go back through, and I'm sure for you as well, kind of look at the sales that I had in 2014 or 2015, and just seeing what you were buying. The versions of homes that we just looked at, those were 4s and low 5s, and now we're talking about 6s and 7s. So the sooner you can get into it, the better. I did want to pass along for the folks, if you are considering selling your house coming up, of course you need to reach out to Ann so you can make sure that you're getting your house ready for whether it's going to be the fall market, which could still be busy if we see a drop in the rates. Like we've run into that before.
Yeah, no, I have been super busy the past 3 weeks. I had 4 listings go up last week, and I've got buyers coming on here. And again, I'm not complaining. It is unusual for our fall market for me to be that busy. I'm always busy, but that busy is
Right,
kind of unusual. So yeah, I mean, there is never a bad time to list your house in Northern Virginia, in my opinion, especially in a neighborhood like Embrey Mill, where a lot of people are trying to get into. There are just different challenges that we tackle depending on what time of year it is.
Yep, sounds good. And then I wanted to pass along for the folks that, so I now have my North Carolina license in addition to my Florida and Texas and Washington State. So if you're heading, if you're selling your house and you're heading to one of those locations and you think I'd be, I'll do a great job for you, please reach out. I'd love the opportunity to help. So, but Anna, yeah, I'm really starting to see the rates come down a little bit. And this next Fed meeting on, I think it's the 16th and 17th, and Powell comes out with his announcement on the 17th. That will be must-watch TV because if I'm anticipating a quarter point to the Fed fund rate, but if they do a half point cut, then we're really going to see some traction. So it'll be interesting. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you watch it, and then you just give me the recap.
That's right. That's right.
The math makes my head hurt after a while. So that's why we have great lenders. We're
there we go. That's what I'm here for. Well, as always, thank you for hopping on. We will see everybody next month with the update on how September looked.
Yep, looking forward to it.